Okay, so Cal Newport has written some fantastic stuff on deep work versus shallow work. And I'm going to be very blunt and somewhat mean about this. It is very easy to fill your day, to fill your team's day with the work that does not build a billion-dollar company. And a lot of companies have meetings that reinforce that. If I have to sit, which I will never do in my life again, but I have to sit in one more stand-up with 30 people who are like, well, Robin, what I did yesterday was X. What I did going to do today is Y. But I'm not blocked. It's just like I'm going to shoot myself to the face because let's be honest, it is the deep work that actually turns into a meeting where you walk in and say, yesterday, I took 2 hours. I stared out the window and I thought about what our competitor is doing. And I think we should build this. And everyone in the meeting, their heads turn to you and they're like, we should leave this meeting now and go build that. That changes the trajectory of our company. And that comes from deep work. That comes from having a certain amount of time. And that's really where flow states come in. Like flow states are about how do you go deep? And you don't go deep in 5 minutes. Like in between Zoom meetings, you are not going to have the $1 billion, idea. Rarely. The research shows to drop into flow, for your brain chemistry to actually get to that, shutting down the prefrontal cortex, having that experience being connected, that's 15 to 23 minutes to drop in. And if you are interrupted in the middle of a flow session, it's another 15 to 23 to get back in. So what does that mean? That means you have to actually treat that time as sacred. So if you are an individual contributor, you need to block time in your calendar. This is a meeting with me. This is sacred. I'm taking 2 hours to go write my book, to go create the business plan for my restaurant, to write my app. And if you're a leader and you want to have those kind of ideas, not the, hey, I fixed the bug yesterday and today I'll fix the other bug and I'm not blocked. Like if you want to have the deep meetings, then you need to, on your team, build a culture where we say, hey, let's have flow time. Let's have deep work time, whatever you want to call it. And let's not bug each other in that time. No Slacks, no, Teams messages. Hey, could you send me that stupid thing and blow people's concentration? And declare that time. Yeah. Back to you wanted to say something. I saw you about to say something. What was it?
No, I hear you about this, but it sounds to me like it's an individual thing. But meanwhile, there's the other flip side. There's two sides to each coin. So the second side to the coin is the team, in which you alluded to earlier. Can that be applied from one individual to a team, for instance? So we're all now on the same wavelength instead of async work or autonomous.
Yeah.
Now we're all pushing in the right direction.
Well, let's talk about that. And let me spell out. When Mihai wrote his book, he said, I found this thing that I'm going to call flow, a flow state. The characteristics that he talked about is he said, in this state, all these people with whom I spoke, they said they lose track of time. They're not looking at the clock. Distractions fall away. They're doing their best work in a compressed amount of time. And at the end, they can actually feel a sense of uplift, of joy, rather than depletion. Oh God, I'm so tired. That was awful, right? And that can be a shared experience. Like suppose you're pair programming. You're two engineers, right? Two developers.
Yeah.
And you're deep in pair programming. You can get to a point where you do that. Like for example, some of the research on how does the brain change in a flow state was done on jazz trios, because that sense of improvisation where you are flowing with two other people is a fascinating place to say, okay, can I see what your brain is doing when you get to that, right?
Don't tell me to put them under a scanner where they're playing jazz.
That's exactly it. So the fMRI stuff about, oh, wow, look what happens to the prefrontal cortex. Like that is from often that collaborative sort of sense of, oh, wow, you're in flow right now. And it's not applicable for everything. Like if you're stapling reports, if you're mopping the floors, you're doing the laundry, you're not going to be in flow. But when you say, oh man, I want to write that chapter of my book. I want to write that app. I want to create that business plan. Mm-hmm. That's a moment when if you go deep, you will do your best work in a short amount of time and you will sit back and go, I feel great, as opposed to, man, I'm tired.